Hi, I'm Christine Sutherland. Welcome everybody to episode 2 of Wheelers of the North. We are going to introduce you to Kelly Clark and his wonderful household of friends. We're having Brad learn how to massage Kelly, but also for Kelly, how to massage Brad. And we've got, hint, a special way of showing how to be able to give massages when you're somebody with cerebral palsy and you've got specially arranged fingers. Let's go.
Wheelers of the North.
Kelly.
Yeah.
How did you become a Wheeler of the North?
I was born at 31 weeks with cerebral palsy in Fort St. John. I suffered bleeding on the brain at birth, which then I wound up having to depend on a wheelchair for the rest of my life. Fun.
So Kelly, how do you think growing up with your mom gave you maybe your feisty nature?
Well, my mom was very much, she's a tough cookie, that one. She definitely doesn't, take any bull.
Tell me about what it was like being raised by your mom.
It was good. It was definitely hard on both of us.
She was a single mom?
Yeah.
For how long?
For pretty much my whole life.
Your whole upbringing.
Yeah.
And about going to school, did you go to school in Fort St. John?
Yeah.
Did you take a bus?
Yeah, took the bus. I had an EA at school. And,
What's an EA?
Educational assistant.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Kelly, when it comes
To being massaged in your chair, what areas do you find most relieving for being hands-on, for someone helping you with your aches and pains?
My legs.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly. And my arms and my shoulders.
And how does the massage help?
Helps relax the muscles.
That are spastic?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then when it comes to your opportunities to give back, to be able to reach out, what do you do? And also, what do you suggest for other people that have these kind of creative fingers that you've got?
I don't really know what to suggest except be gentle and don't be rough. Yeah, so.
What about using the F word?
The F word?
Feedback?
Oh,
Feedback? Can people actually tell you how to do things or give you feedback?
Yes.
What sort of questions would you ask them?
I'm not really sure.
When you're massaging me, what kinds of questions would you ask me when you're massaging my shoulders?
Does it feel good?
That's a good one.
Am I hurting you in any way?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So those are good for other people to do.
And do you have any favorites, like besides legs, if you're thinking head, neck, shoulders, face, and scalp?
Not really.
Can you make one up?
Probably the head.
Aha. That was definitely my experience. Because you're really good at doing the scalp work.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Okay, well, let's show people what we can do to help them massage from the chair.
Okay.
And then we'll also be able to give you massage in your chair. Sounds like a deal?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's good.
good. Were you always in Fort St. John?
Yeah. Born and raised.
Born and raised.
Definitely had its challenges, you know. My mom pretty much had to do it on her own besides, you know, my brother. My dad wasn't around to help.
She raised you on your own?
Yeah.
And how long have you been living independently?
Since I was 19.
And can you describe your different living situations?
I lived with, like I said, I lived with my mom up until I was 19, and then I moved in to this house. I lived with different home share providers throughout the years. And then Lauren moved in 2018. Yeah.
So you've been in this place 10 years.
Yep.
And what is happening now?
I'm hoping to move here shortly, which
That's exciting.
I still haven't gotten any further news on, which,
But you're packed.
yeah,
There's boxes at the door.
I'm packed, but I've been packed for like
Couple of months.
a couple of months
Yeah.
now. 'Cause they're like, oh yeah, it'll be the end of July, and then July rolled around. And
So
I
that
was still here.
suspense is a bit stressful.
To say a bit is putting it lightly.
Right. So you could always do with a massage.
Yeah.
A shoulder. So what about if we massage your shoulders first and arms and hands?
Okay.
And that's like pre-event. It's kind of like sports massage.
Yeah.
And then that'll get you ready to practice on mine. And then we'll see if Anna would like to, she's your caregiver for today?
Yeah.
Right?
For the
Of the evening? Okay, great. Okay. So what I'm going to do is go around the back of you.
Okay.
And I'm going to have you adjust your chair to whatever height is good for you, for my toes to get underneath those shoulders. So I've got my fingertips in the front, right below your clavicle. And I'm looping myself around your headrest. And my thumbs are busy along the top here. And how's the pressure?
Good.
So I call that using the F word, feedback, feedback, feedback. So give me lots of feedback and then I'll know I'm doing the right thing. And the way your muscles are right here in the front of your shoulder, right below your collarbone, are really, really tight, which is really classic. When somebody has cerebral palsy, you got to really work these muscles. So my fingertips are working along here with some circles. And how's the pressure?
Good.
Okay. I'm trainable, so be sure and get back to me. So I've got both sides going at the same time. From your end of things, what feels like the one that's tighter?
The one on the right.
No kidding. Like right here. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to go down a little. So now I'm working more into where that big muscle, the pectoral muscle, goes into your arm right there. And I've got my fingertips going in circles right where it's going to insert into your arm. Now, is that too much?
Nope.
Okay, so I'm kind of pulling up towards me. So, folks, when you're copying us, don't push down as much as lift up, lift up, lift up. And you can see I'm going to work with my fingertips here. So it's kind of like playing the piano. So how is that one?
Good.
Now, if you had a favorite between the one where I'm going intermittently, like my
4 fingers are playing a piano along your chest here. And then the fingertip. Any preference, or do you like both?
I like.
Yep. Good. So where I'm going to go now is right in the very center. So right around where your phone is there, and where the muscles attached to your sternum in the very center. It's called the breastbone, sternum. And again, I'm working with my fingertips. And that's where the big chest muscle, the pectoralis minor and major, they attach into the chest all along here. But often you can do teeny weeny little strokes in between the ribs, and it really helps people's breathing. So besides the little nitpicky fingertips, I'm going to do this one too, where I'm pulling with long stretching strokes in the what's called intercostal space. So it's the rib raking. So I'm going to make my hand kind of like a claw and then pull out from the sternum towards your arms. How does that feel?
Good.
That tends to open up the breathing really good. So we got the front of the chest. I'll give you a big squeeze there with my hand at the top. And then I'm going to give your arms a squeeze down like this. Okay, so I'm going to get these arms ready. And so here's an any old squeeze. We're just squeezing alternately with my whole hand all the way along your bicep, tricep group in the upper arm. And then I'm going to go around the corner and give a squeeze all the way down. And then I'm going to pick up your hand and squeeze. So even though I'm standing beside you, it's kind of like how people can do this when they're in the car or they're waiting for a plane. They can work beside each other. I'm working right out the hand. So my fingertips are working into the palm of your hand. And how's that pressure?
Good.
And then on the top, my thumbs are poking and pressing around your wrist and then towards. And then I'm going to turn around and see if I can get your hand going the other way. So now this is a bit like a hold up. I've got my thumbs working away on the heel of your hand. How's that pressure, Kelly?
Good.
And then I'm going into the palm of your hand where you can't see it because your fingers are relaxed. And then I'm going at the base of each finger with my thumbs, a digital compression, poke, compress, poke, compress, poke, compress. And then I'm going to corkscrew each finger. So I'm taking my whole hand and I'm encompassing your thumb and I'm wringing it outwards from the top to the tip. And then the pointer finger, I'm wringing it from the base of the finger all the way to the next knuckle, all the way out to the tip. Doesn't that feel good?
Yeah.
I love that one. And then the middle is up for grabs. Doesn't matter which way you ring it. So we're going to go in one direction and then I'm going to switch hands. So I'm always wringing your fingers towards the outside aspect of the hand itself. And it's most important to really rub those joints because in your situation, the joints want to become fixed and shortened.
Yeah.
Like there's a really big tendency to want to keep flexing and tightening, and we need to keep these nice and loose because if there is a cure in your lifetime, we need these joints to be ready for it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we're going to push with an effleurage up. And that's the direction of pressure is up towards the heart. And then we're going to do a light one like a butterfly. And this butterfly stroking, you can do intermittently, but it's very, very light. One hand, the other hand. And this is very good for anesthetizing an area that might be painful. You can just about numb it out by just the light stroking. Okay. Okay, with this one, Kelly, I'm just going to give this arm an any old squeeze just so it doesn't feel left out. And do you have one hand that is tougher than the other as far as tightening up? This one, that's what I thought. So we will give it a massage, especially in here at the wrist. And I'm doing that alternating digital compression. Okay, arm,
you're included. And I was going to move on to the face and scalp. Can I remove your glasses, please? Thank you. Okay. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to let your glasses rest there. I'm going to take my thumbs and I'm going to travel right up your nose and out your eyebrows to your temples. And then I'm going again and starting at the tip of the nose. And let me know about the pressure. How does that pressure feel?
Good.
Good. Should I be firmer or lighter? No. And then as I'm going up your forehead, I meet my thumbs in the middle and I pull out to the side, going a little bit higher every time till I reach the hairline. You've got a great hairline, Kelly. Goes in all sorts of different directions. And then I'm going to stroke up with this wonderful beard of yours, starting at the very tip of your chin and stroke upward with each hand on each side. And then I'm going up below the lips and stroke up. Then I'm going above the lips and stroke up. Then I'm going and starting at the outer flare of the nostril. And with my fingertips, I'm going to stroke right around the chin line and up towards your ears. And then below the eyes and just tracing the contours of your face over to the temples every time. Ultimately, 3 times for each line of contour is going to give you the best relaxing results. But I'm going to slip one finger in the front of your ear, the rest of my fingers behind your ear, and go in big, huge circles. And then I'm going to slip out and I'm going to hold on to your ears and just make them a little bigger. How's that?
Good.
And I'll slow it down a bit so I don't have you flying through the air. And then I'm going to press between my thumb and my pointer finger all the way around the edge of your ear and starting again and doing that 3 times. And it's very stimulating for the ears. They're very, very sensitive. Ears are so soft. And then here comes the wakey wakey. Okay, I'm going to do a fingertip kneading all through your scalp. You have the thickest hair in town, Kelly. Holy smoke. And then we're going to slow it down. So I've got a claw-like grip and I'm doing little circles. Then I'm moving to a new place on your scalp. So it's really important not to just go back and forth because that can irritate the hair follicles, but lift off, go to a new location, get a grip, do the circles. How am I doing?
Good.
Good so far?
Yeah.
Great. And then I can do that shampoo stroke. So I'm going fast as I can on both sides of Kelly's head and just making the fur fly. Okay, so that gives you some variety for what to do with anyone on the receiving end. And I'll go back to our start where I've got my thumbs on your shoulders. And that just gives us a nice 10-minute starter. Okay, here comes the quiz. Your turn to try it on me, and I'll coach you, and then we'll try it on Anna. Does that sound good? Okay. So I'll come around the front, and then if you want to lift yourself so that you've got the right angle.
Yeah.
And with these different chairs, they can be adjusted to different heights and different angles. So Kelly's going up in the world, and then somehow he's got to come forward so that he can get his hands on me. So he's lifting himself up, and now we're going to go forward. And there's a bunch of different ways that you can organize yourself for being literally sitting on somebody's feet or just crouching down and like leaning back. Am I within reach?
Yeah, just barely though.
How's that? You can get at me now?
Yep.
I like it already. Okay, so just if you work the top of my shoulders, yep, and just get your fingers, that contact is, you've got good pressure. That is great. And if you get both at the same time, they'll help each other. there's a neurological crossover where it's very good when they can do that. And then you use your creativity and see what you can do up and down there. Try and get my necklace out of your way. Yep. And you can work right up into my neck there. And then do you want to come up and try anything that's like a facial, like I was doing with you?
Sure.
Go for it. Feel free to mess up my hairdo anytime. It'll be worth it. Oh yeah, those muscles could definitely do with it. And they're both going at the same time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay. And if you want to go a little bit more towards my ear, yep. I'll get my earrings out of there. Hang on. Sorry, go for it. And literally, you can take both hands and you can squeeze as though you're compressing my head. Yep. And just try as though you're going to clap. You're going to press them. Yeah. That's it. That's great. Yeah. And I can take a ton of pressure anytime. Yep. That's great. Thank you. And then you can even come around the front, like for where my nose is in the front there with your hands. Yep. You got it.
Can't find your nose.
My nose. Here, I'll take your hands. Okay, there's a nose right there. There's a nose right there. So the best facial massages are definitely for St. John. That forehead stuff is good. And can you feel how your fingers are feeling the muscles? That's great. My ears are saying, come and get me. And that's great, the way you can get both hands going at the same time, Kelly. Okay, I think we've warmed up her. Anna, can we borrow you now? So Anna, this is a way that Kelly can give your hands a massage. So you want to be able to have the whole elbow. If you think of pushing your elbow, then your hands will move along with it. Yeah. So it's more like as though you're massaging with your whole arm. Sure. And your hands are just like into that long stroke. That's great. Yeah. And you can go as high as you can. And then, yeah. That's good. That's good. These are hardworking arms. That's great. Yep, that's a good one. And then the focus, like with you, focusing on the wrist is really good. Yep. And doing those kinds of, it's got a nice touch. Good. Great. And then any kind of grip to be able to do. Yep. That's good. And between your thumb and your pointer finger, that's really great. And then we can switch hands and you can hold with this hand here and just see just the different angles. Like that thumb tends to wrap out of the way. Yeah. This thumb tends to be able to do more, right? So we can organize. Sometimes you can get this kind of hooked in to Kelly's hands. Is that comfortable? Yeah. And then you've got a grip, and then you can take this hand and open it and be able to use that thumb. And if you lean into it, yeah. So there you go. And you can use that. That's really good. That's great. That's great that you're able to use your thumb like that, Kelly. How does that feel? Good. Do you need more pressure? That's good. Great. And then just the way we did your fingers individually, you can give Kelly like one finger. Yep. And then he'll do that. And then you can give him your thumb for his thumb. Yeah. So it's like presenting into, yep, that's good. And then your middle finger. There you go. Nice work. Yay. Good, good, good. Next. Nice. Good work, Kelly. And especially those when you're working with your hands all the time, that's good. And then little finger. Yippee. We got it. And then you could support her like that while you've got that finger down. So we're just learning the hand massage, but you've been our first lesson. Thank you. So these kinds of things, no matter how creative fingers are, you can see how Kelly's got one hand that's quite different from the other. So you just learn to be creative and figure out how to do that. Thanks, Anna. That's great. Yay. So we're going to say our thank you. So Anna and I are doing a bilateral squeeze. It's a thank you very much squeeze. And then we're going all the way down to those hardworking hands. There you go. And then Kelly and I did perfect also the chin, because he can do things with his head, you know, that are totally different. So, yeah. So I'm going to put my arm here, and then you can bend down. Yep. And work your way along. And I've got the back of Kelly's head like that. And then he can, and then I just move my arm along, and he's kneading into it. So it's kind of like chin down and chin down, just like chin down, chin down. Then I'm going to turn. Okay, go for it. Chin down, chin down, chin down. This is what I was taught by somebody who only moved their head, couldn't move anything else. So here we go in the best of all worlds. We have Brad, who's the musical friend, and we've got Anna, who's on staff, and me, the neighbor, and we get to do an any old squeeze. So you just work all up and down like this, like we're doing, all the way down. We're working right down to his fingertips. And then, and this is always good for pre-event, like to get Kelly loosened up to be able to massage you, Brad. Right. So that's his homework, is he has to practice on staff and friends. Right. And then he'll invent things because of his special shapes with his hands. If you folks come up with something that you can teach me, that's how I learned about chin massaging. Okay. It was one of my patients who was a high-end spinal cord injury. Okay. And he showed me how he massaged his wife's shoulders with his chin. But that kind of thing. And then the main thing is always use the F word. Don't keep going. Oh, okay. Feedback, feedback, feedback. Yeah, all right. So you always got to say, are we firm enough?
I always use the F word.
Yeah. Okay. So are we doing a good job?
Yeah.
Okay. And is Brad trainable?
Yes.
That's going to work?
Yeah.
Okay. And then shall we do the shampoo stroke and show him what to do?
Sure.
It's really, really fast. So you go as fast as you can there. And then we're going to go fast down here. So this is more in the fun department. Start at the top. And then we're going to do a light one. So we're doing this light reflex stroking.
So I still do the hair thing?
And then you do the light. And you do it this way, Brad. Okay. With your fingertips lightly, both at the same time. Like, yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. And we do slower ones, Anna. All the way down. And then happy fingers go like this. How does that feel?
Good.
That's neat. Thank you. You did good. Yay. So Kelly, how did you feel about our massage session?
Good.
And what did you like the most?
Hard to say. I kind of enjoyed the whole thing.
That's good. That's good. And squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And squeeze.
Right.
So in terms of getting rubbed the right way by your friends and your staff, got any suggestions for them?
Not really.
What would you say was really important for you getting rubbed the right way?
The shoulder massage, I guess.
Yeah. And what about the feedback? Did that help when we use the F word?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the F word, Brett? That's close. Feedback. Okay, great. And how many massages would you like to give?
I don't know. I don't really have a.
For the homework assignment?
Oh, I don't know.
But if you put Brad in the front there, like you did for me,
Yeah.
you could practice on him?
Yeah.
Yay. That sounds like a good deal for our friendship. And then for Anna, that would be a good practice set of shoulders too.
Yeah.
Great. So thank you, and thank you for being part of our episode for Wheelers of the North.
All right.
That's really great when people like Kelly can show other folks who have cerebral palsy and have fancy chairs and all of their different kinds of special mobilities, how they can still reach out and say thanks and give back.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So Kelly, we had some practice sessions. I got to practice on you, you got to practice on me. And then we also had helpers with Anna and with Bradley Cash.
Yeah.
What sort of experience did you have?
It was a positive experience. It was definitely helpful to learn these techniques and how to do massages on other people.
And for the caregivers that you have, how was it with your friend Bradley when he was working on your shoulders? Would you like more of that?
Yes.
So that would be a good assignment for Brad to come. He brings you food and wonderful things like that. And I know with guys, it's not as easy as saying, could you just take a minute and rub my shoulders? But you could practice that. Yeah. How would you ask him if it was Brad?
Honestly, I don't know.
But if I was Brad, what would you say? Pretend these are two braids.
I honestly don't know because I don't know Bradley that well.
It's just a little practice because he got a chance to learn. Yeah. And it could be a homework assignment. Yeah. You could always ask him if he got a chance to practice what we learned together at home, at his home. Yeah. You know, you have a good sense of humor, so you could always give him a little quiz. Yeah. See if he's doing it the right way. Something like that. And for your caregivers, like with Anna, how would you ask for some assistance? Like, would it be, could you take a few minutes and rub my shoulders? Or how would you say that?
That's probably how I would say it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, could you please take a few minutes and help me, try and feel better?
By
rubbing my shoulders
You did it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not as easy, I think, for fellows to practice, but I think you did that really good. Okay, Kelly, I have a homework assignment for you, and I'll be able to do your shoulders as a thank you and prize and positive reinforcement for asking your friend, Bradley, could you rub my shoulders for a couple of minutes? Anna, your caregiver, and then maybe 2 other caregivers. Okay, so I'll check back about your homework assignment. Okay, so tell me what the homework assignment is.
To ask my workers to massage me.
Yes. Yay. Shake on that. It's a deal. Thank you.
We are Wheelers of the North, and we are here today, healing with our hands all across across our land, because we are wheelers of the